Hey guys, it's Nate, aka TheFutAccountant. Welcome back to the channel. Time Warp has arrived in FC26, and with it, the crazy evolution that has just made the most meta version of the most meta card, Claudia Pina, on this game. But also, the absolutely awesome flashback dynamic images for all the players in this promo team. That might be my favorite part of the promo. But from the content that we got yesterday to start things off, it is easy to notice that something was missing, or multiple things were missing. We'll talk about where some of that lost content has gone and where it might be at. And we're going to look forward to today on Saturday, which brings us one of the most unique live events that we've seen so far of the year. We're going to be playing with bronze squads, guys, and the rewards look halfway decent from what we can see right now. We'll talk about that, maybe some ways to make a few coins today just by checking your club. And we have an icon SBC leak that I think you at least need to consider because he's very meta and I've used him a lot this year. We're going to discuss that and more in today's video. If you're excited for it, drop a thumbs up on the video, hype the video, and subscribe if you are new. Now let's start the video off today by looking back over yesterday's Time Warp Friday content, and it has to be mentioned once again. The content is absolutely not as crazy because this is an in-between week, a filler week, right? Between the great promo of Winter Wildcards and the absolutely amazing promo of Team of the Year that it is every year, we're stuck in the middle right now. We're passing in time between the two big promos, but there's still some fun with this, especially because of the chemistry these cards get, and we now know how it's going to work for these Time Warp players. It's very simple. It's just like the positional excellence card design that we have, the green card design that gives you 3 chemistry points for the player in position, but it does not boost any other nation, league, or club chemistry for the rest of the squad. That is how these Time Warp cards work. So if you want to use Pookie, even though you see he's Finnish and he's in the Finnish league and you think I'm not going to be able to link him, you don't need to. You just plug and play him in the team, and you have yourself here a free objective card of a former Premier League kind of FIFA legend. Of course, playing for Norwich back in the day and getting a couple of Premier League Player of the Month cards that were pretty good. This is a nice little free objective card here for Teemu Pukki, 86 rated, so he could be evolvable pretty soon and might be right now. The one thing with this objective that you might not have noticed is Finnish players are needed, and if you check your club, you might be able to make some easy coins because Finnish strikers, even some of the silver ones, specifically the gold ones though, were going for a couple thousand coins on the market. Some people were even selling gold Finnish players for like 7,000-8,000 coins. I sold one for my club as a silver for 2K, so make sure you check your club before you do that objective, or maybe after as well, and see if you can make some very easy coins with that. Also, we're going to talk about it. I already mentioned it in the intro, but the dynamic images, I know they're not licensed with like the kit and the badge and everything, but like the colors are there, and it just takes you back to where these players were playing at from where these pictures were taken. The Messi dynamic image, the Suarez, even the Pogba and the Royce, my goodness. It's like a promo of flashback cards is what it really looks like. Now, through the rest of yesterday's content, we got to talk about the SBCs, where we were a little disappointed, let's be honest. We were looking for one SBC player, and instead we got 2 that aren't the greatest, unless you're maybe a Chelsea fan or United fan and you're getting the Nemanja Matic SBC done just because he's very cheap and it's an emotional card for you. 3-star, 4-star, okay playstyles, good rolls, and the price is cheap, only 47,000 coins. Not much bad I can say about that SBC because it is so cheap, even though the card isn't that crazy. Good for a past and present squad that you may be building. Now, the other SBC we had yesterday, just I don't know, man. Like, Baggio looks good when you look at the skill moves, the weak foot, the finesse plus. Some of the other playstyles are not that great. The rolls are great, inside forward plus plus. Even the price is great. An icon SBC for a 92 rated card with those stats for 258k. You would think this is a great SBC, but there's just something about Baggio in game. It's very unfortunate because it's kind of a disrespect to him, but there's just something about his card in game that most people do not love. And specifically, this card can't play centrally, where when you look at the stats, I mean, sure, it doesn't have tiki-taka or an incisive playstyle, but he looks perfect for a center attack in mid. You know what I'm saying? He can't play centrally. This version only can play on the right and left wing. So I think all things considered, if you want to try Baggio, go do the loan squad for the 85 rated and at least test him out. But it is very cheap, and that's why I think he's still 38% upvoted on Footbin because of the price of this SBC. But neither of these two really were the SBC that we were looking forward to yesterday. We're still missing that piece of content. More on that later. But of course, we did have the new refresh of the 83 plus Team of the Week pack. Make sure you guys are getting a few of these done throughout the week. I favorited the SBC, so I remember to do it. I know that it takes an 84 rated squad, but I'm finding myself getting low on informs. I think they're going to make a good investment this week because a lot of people are going to be getting low on informs. But that's just a really good way that if you're doing the 82 times 10s and stuff like that, you can be crafting some of what you have in your club and help yourself for future SBCs. Now, let's talk about the biggest piece of content yesterday, and that was the Evo, the Claudia Pina Evo that does create the most meta version of her card in this game was dropped. It's called Plenty of Time Left. It is a 40,000 coin evolution, and it honestly delivered very much so as it was leaked. We got a nice boost here with the technical plus. If you don't have a playstyle plus, you got a skill move boost that is capped at 4. That might be a bit of a downside because we were hoping to go to 5-star skills. But then all the stat boost and all the playstyles that were leaked originally are a part of this evolution. I've chosen Luna. Actually, it's kind of funny. Diego Luna for me went into the Estrella de Montcada, which was the first Pina Evo, right? And now he's going into this Evo, which everybody or a lot of people are putting Claudia Pina in. So he looks freaking sick from that. I'm very stoked. But the card that you're going to be seeing a lot is this one. Gold Claudia Pina getting the pace boost that she needed, getting a physical boost and a slight passing and dribbling boost there as well. This is the first way that you can do this evolution. She gets first touch playstyle if you put Gold Pina in. A lot of people are doing the double chain, putting Claudia Pina's gold card into Frosty Dribbler and then into Plenty of Time Left. You pay the extra 25,000 coins, but I think that 25k is honestly worth it for the rapid base playstyle that you will get on her card, because rapid base, in my opinion, with the pace boost will feel better in game than the first touch, but that's up to your personal interpretation, to be completely honest, if you're putting Pina in this Evo. Now, I think this is the most meta version of this card in this game now because of the pace boost. None of her other cards have this going for them, but this one doesn't get the 5-star skills like the Winter Wildcards one does, or both of them do, because we were hoping that was going to be the case. It sounded like it might be through the leaks, but that's not the case. So the Winter Wild Cards, or some people call this one the Gang Sign Pina, as it has dropped in price 100,000 coins, it still could rebound a little bit over the course of the next couple of days. If you're trying to make a buy here for a card that's dropped a lot and you want to use this version of Pina just because she is 5-star skills and she's got a little bit better shooting and still decent pace, but again, not quite the same as the gold Pina going into this Evo. Now, GG's if you sold the gold Pina before and into the hype of this evolution from 8,800 coins. Man, guys, with Pina Evos, it's the same thing every time. It really is. This is like the 3rd time she's been leaked for an Evo, even a small one. And every time she just drops afterwards because there's so much supply for this card. From 8,800 coins down to 5K. Now, I will say, I think this card could maybe slide back up because this Evo is so hyped. There's a lot of newer players on the game that maybe haven't had a chance to pack Pina like most of us who've been playing since the beginning of the year have had the chance to do. So you could actually see this card go from like 5,000 coins, maybe up to around 6.5K, maybe 7K by the end of the week if we're a little bit lucky on that. So if you want to make an investment, or if you're looking to buy this card to do the evolution, I just say pay the 5K and go ahead and do that. But big price drops on the other versions of Pina, and big price rises on some of the other cards that fit this Evo. This Joao Felix from 90,000 coins to 150K, because this Evo actually is not very restrictive at all. The Gabriel Silva card, the World Tour, fits this one. The Rafael Leao Scream card fits. Maybe that's one other bad part about this evolution is you don't get a shooting boost above 80. For me, this Evo is not worth it for this layout because you take him up to 88 rated. Sure, you give him the technical playstyle, but you need a bigger shooting boost on this card for going up to ratings. Nico Williams, Salma Parluelo, Ferran Torres. There were a lot of cards that fit this Evo, and that is very good. I think it's a good Evo. Maybe just take some time if you don't want to put somebody in it right away to decide who you'd like to place in this evolution. But I think for 40,000 coins, that pace boost, especially if your player needs it, is very, very good. And the physical boost with the play styles along with it is very, very solid as well. Other left mids and strikers, we were worried about these prices, right? And we're going to start talking about the market in a second here. Other left mids were dropping yesterday, like this Nico Williams went from 415K after content when the Evo came out. He went down to 370, but then as we're going to look at, the market exploded almost everywhere as this promo, again, people have coins, people are wanting to use the Winter Wildcards cards, they see those as more hype than the Time Warps, and he absolutely exploded. So, talking about these Winter Wildcards prices and the Time Warp prices, most things are just going up, and these Time Warp cards are incredibly high in price. Speaking of prices going up, I mean, technically they're coming down right now, but these cards are so rare on the market because EA yesterday, when they dropped these cards into packs, didn't release any tradable pack supply. All the store packs yesterday were untradeable, and the only way these cards are getting packed right now is from Weekend League rewards, which is making them very, very overpriced because they're very rare on the market. Like this Messi was 13 million for a couple of hours yesterday, and now he's like 7 million coins. Pogba was 1.5 to 1.6 mil, and now he's 800K. I bought Marco Reus for 1.05, sold him for 1.2, and now he's 600,000 coins. And guys, I know there's a lot of nostalgia. There's a lot of you guys that are going to want to use some of these players. I think the best way to do it today is stay away, wait until later in the evening on Saturday, maybe even on Sunday. These cards need to drop more. When you take a look at some of these cards, sure, they're nostalgic, right? They're really good looking cards too. A lot of them, if you compare them to some of the Winter Wild cards in terms of stats and price, they're just very expensive. They need to get packed more because they're very, very rare and they're not supplied, and that will bring their prices down over the course of this weekend. So I'd be very careful buying any of these cards right now. Now, if you take a look at the icons, it's the same story. Some of these are going to fluctuate. Like, I've just seen here this John Barnes has gone from 250, 260K. He's like 270. Or we take a look at the main team here. Royce was 560. Now he's 630K. If you bought any of those, I would take the quick flips. I'd take the cash and enjoy your profits because I do think that these are going to drop later on in the day. But like we mentioned, so many people are just excited about Winter Wild cards and the cards that are in these teams. You see their prices going up. That's where a lot of the hype is. I mean, Lacroix is 170K. He was 120,000 coins just a couple of days ago. You got the Nico Williams, even with the left mid Evo that came out. Dude, I mean, from 376 after content up to 450. What a rise on that card right there. Looking through some of the rest of the other players, the Winter Wild cards icons, the Vieira, the Henry. Vieira's closing in on 700,000 coins. He's absolutely flying. Henry's 1.1 mil. Cruyff is moving up. This Cafu is moving. Stam. All of these cards are moving up, and honestly, it doesn't feel like there's a reason that you'd have to sell these at the moment. I know Team of the Year is coming soon. I know this, that, and the other, but for right now, there is no stopping these cards that just continue to go up, especially when the content is as mid, as you could say, as it is right now. Now, this makes for a really, really good opportunity to trade. And we're going to be talking about trading and investing a little bit more in the video later on, because even Fodder, since EA didn't drop very many store packs, didn't drop much at all yesterday. Take a look at Fodder prices right now. All of these cards are still up. 88 rated are 10,500 coins, which is honestly crazy to see. But I do think we can still make an investment in Fodder, and we'll talk about that again here in a little bit. But let's talk about the content once more. The content that we are missing. There was one big player SBC that we thought we were getting yesterday, and I still cannot understand why EA didn't drop the Arturo Vidal, because he was leaked, and then we had Baggio and Nemanja Matic, and both of those SBCs were leaked ahead of time as well. We actually had a Nemanja Matic leak, but like when I think of the Matic and Baggio versus what could have been with this, man, it just makes me want this SBC even more. It would have been, sorry, I smacked the mic there. It would have been so much more hype to have this SBC straight away. And I still think we're going to get this card. I don't think it's gone, but I think it's just EA missed out on an opportunity with dropping the content yesterday. So many of you guys were in the stream asking me, Nate, where's Vidal? Nate, where's this card? Because that's the one that we truly wanted. I hope that he is today, but we're not even sure about that. Because yesterday, one of the leakers, ASY Foot, responded to somebody on Twitter because they were wanting Vidal as well. He said, no Vidal, and ASY said, week 2, from what I've heard. Wait, so in week 2, we're going to get the Vidal and the Alexis Sanchez and the Kelly Smith icon SBC? Why is EA like loading all the good SBCs into week 2 and not dropping some good ones in week 1? So I hope that's incorrect, because again, the original leak that we saw was Vidal and Baggio were in the first week, and Alexis Sanchez and Kelly Smith were in the second week. So we're gonna have to watch the leaks very closely on that, because that is a bit of a confusing point right now in the leak community, because two of the leakers are saying two different things. Now, the other SBC that so many of you guys were asking me about yesterday was La Liga Player of the Month, because we were expecting it to be yesterday since the Lamine Yamal SBC expired, and because the voting has been closed now on the Player of the Month voting for, what has it been now, like 4 or 5 days? That's normally what happens. The voting closes early in the week, and then on Friday, we get the Player of the Month SBC. Well, I think we got our answer. Because of the holiday, it looks like the award has been delayed. Honestly, it doesn't even look like it's been awarded yet. And that's what FIFA Trading Romania said yesterday on Twitter. Probably announced next week as we had the holidays. So I don't even know if the award, whoever has won it, whether it is Mbappe, whether it is Lamine Yamal, I don't even think they've received the award yet. And that's why it's not been leaked. We've heard nothing about it. And of course, that's why we do not have an SBC. So it's looking like it might be next Friday for when we could get this SBC. And technically, if Mbappe does win, that actually helps, because that would mean that SBC would potentially be out longer for the Team of the Year time period, because Team of the Year is what? Still a number of weeks away, a couple of weeks away. But if it's released a week later and it's out for a month still, Play of the Month SBCs are like always out for a month's time, then that means it could be even easier to craft Mbappe before Team of the Year ends, and that actually could be a good thing. So we're not out of the woods yet for a potential Player of the Month Mbappe. I guess we just have to postpone that for later in the week. Now, with the news of the Player of the Month not being released yesterday, you saw 90 rated cards go from 33,000 coins down to 30K. VVD was down. Some of the other cards, Harry Kane was down as well. But then after content, because there was no supply, they just went right back up to like 33,000 coins. So that's kind of the content that we're missing at the moment. That Player of the Month Mbappe and the Vidal. Now, there's still some promise with those SBCs, because it still could be that they get released. But it was just kind of a little bit of the expectations versus reality situation, right? We were hoping for the Mbappe POTM. We were hoping specifically for the Vidal. That seemed like it was a very real opportunity to be doing that SBC yesterday. And unfortunately, it wasn't. Now, let's prepare a bit more for maybe some SBCs and maybe for that Player of the Month Mbappe, but more so for just the SBCs that I think we're going to be getting this week, which we're all going to continue to do. And those are the SBCs that require informs. Now, we just looked at Fodder, and prices are up, all right? Because Weekend League rewards don't even seem to be dropping the prices of these cards right now, which is surprising. This is not what I was expecting at all. I was expecting Fodder, like it does almost every single weekend, to drop and then rise and not do this, just continually rise. But maybe people are just using their coins right now and doing icon SBCs, or maybe today the icon player pick refreshes. People are just doing those SBCs with the coins that they have and buying Fodder to do that, because there's not a whole lot else to do, I guess, at the moment, and not very many people have safe packs anymore. So whatever Fodder they're getting, they're wanting to turn into SBCs, and that actually just generates, with the pack grind that we have, the 85 plus player pick, giving out some high rateds, the 82 by 10, it generates Fodder for us, and we end up wanting to do SBCs. Like, I'm sitting right now with the club very full of Fodder, and I'm like, well, I feel like I should do an SBC, but nothing strikes my fancy yet. But like, I'm sitting there thinking I should do an SBC, and that's why I think Fodder hasn't dropped. I'm still surprised that Weekend League hasn't made these prices drop. And I'm a little skeptical in investing in 85s, 6s, 7s, or 8s because of the fact that we're still going to have weekend league rewards today and some tradable supply. So I could see fodder going up, but it just doesn't seem as good of an investment to me because it hasn't dropped. But I do like team of the weeks because team of the weeks have dropped a little bit, not much. They're down to about 13,000 coins. They're still going to get supply today with weekend league rewards. But if you can win team of the weeks for less than 13K, I think that maybe is where we have to buy them this week. It seems a bit high, right? It seems a bit inflated in price to buy them at 12,750 or 12,500 if you can on bid. And I think you have all day today to do this and maybe even tomorrow on Sunday as well. I don't think it's a rush to get these bought up. Maybe they go to like 13.5, 13.750 today, but really the sell time for these team of the weeks would be later on in the week. The reason why I'm talking about this is my club right now, I'm starting to get thin on team of the weeks. That's why I'm going to do a bit more of a focus on the 83 plus team league upgrade, but we're still doing the 82 times 10 every single day. And a lot of these player SBCs require informs as well, especially if you're doing an icon pack or you're doing a hero player pick. There's informs required throughout all these SBCs. And I think informs hopefully hit like 15K this week. That would be the goal. Either a lazy list at 15,000 coins or they actually start selling there. So team of the weeks, I like them. You have all weekend to buy those. On fodder, I'm a little bit more skeptical. Now, the best thing you can do in the market right now is trade. The fluctuations, because the market is just going up, they are awesome. Like I just watched this card, this Larson. He's like a 255,000 coin card, but sometimes he gets listed up for like 225. So right there was a 234, and then there's a 255. Like he was 225 a little bit ago. If I see that card at 225, I know I can sell at 255 because I'm looking at the flipping graph and seeing the price move up and down. That's the way you want to trade right now. I bought a Salah yesterday for 1.5 flat, sold him for over 1.6 million coins. I just bought a Vitinha as well because Vitinha was 1.2 lows yesterday. We said in the video, buy him for 1.2. He went all the way to 1.4 highs, even 1.5 mil sold for him for yesterday. So I just picked up another one for 1.2. Puteus was 1.5. She went up above 1.6. If you look at the flipping graphs, and especially for like cheaper cards, I love trading with this Mateus Cunha. Low budget right here. Go look at the Joga Benito cards. Go look at the Thunderstruck cards. Trade with these sort of players because Mateus Cunha yesterday was 70K. He went up to 76K. I know for a fact, actually, he was 78K at one point in here. And earlier, just a few hours ago, 69K. Maybe you get him on bid here at 67. You know that he's probably going back to 75, 77 today. That's really solid trading fluctuations on a less than 100,000 coin card. So absolutely be trading with those. Look at the winter wildcard players because those have a lot of hype right now. I know they are up in value, but if any of them have some drops, especially on the lower tier, we're talking cards under like 100,000 coins, get involved and trade those cards. Chemistry style trade these cards as well. Like some of the midfielders, like a Taram here is very hype. You know, maybe he sells for 75 to 77K with a shadow chemistry style applied when he's 70,000 coins. Maybe you can snipe him for 69, 70K and sell him for 77 when most of his cards are actually 70,000, right? Because the chemistry style adds value. So it's just going to be a really, really good time to be fluctuation trading on this market. Out of pack specials, rare cards. Of course, you got to be a little careful with what SBCs are going to be released. If Vidal comes out, yeah, maybe some midfielders would drop a bit on the middle to lower tier, but it's a great time to be on the market and trading because of the way the market is moving up. Now, let's talk about content today and some other ways where you might be able to make coins by just checking your club. I've built a bronze team for the first time this year because we have our first bronze live event today on Saturday. Time Warp Bronze Exhibition. And before you're like, Nate, I'm not playing with bronze cards. Just take a look at these objective rewards because we don't know everything just yet. There might be another objective as a part of this, but it's a live event, so it can't be super crazy. And some of this looks pretty good. Score in 7 matches for an 85x2. That means you got to play 7 games and just score at one time in each game. For an 85x2, I'm down. You get an evolution here that we don't know what it is. You get an evolution which gives max chemistry on a player because it's the card design for Time Warp, which gives boosted chemistry for assisting in 5 games. Play 1 for an 82x3 and complete other objectives for another evolution. So is there Is there a win objective? There's no win objective. It's score in 15, score in 7. Maybe there's a bonus win objective, a part of it, which just means more packs and more reason to play. But it's max chemistry, and it's just going to be kind of fun, I think, to play with bronze cards and play against people who have bronze cards as well. It'd be level playing field. Just a bunch of bronze cards out there vibing and hanging out. Now, here's what I've done. I've taken some of the evolutions that are expiring, like the Sticky Shoes Evo is expiring today. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to use this guy, Choi Gyeonju. So I just put the first, was it technical? Yeah, technical and Trickster. I just put that on his card because some of these random bronze cards have like 3 or 4 play styles. Those are the ones that I want to use. This guy, Clayton Taylor, I was just looking through my club and noticed that he has Game Changer. He's got Rapid, and he's got a 5-star weak foot. I got to put that guy on my team, man. Who else do I have? I have this guy, Sam Sharing. Just check your clubs, guys, because this dude's selling for 4,000 coins as he's one of the most meta bronze cards to be putting in, that people are putting in their teams today. So here's why I say check your clubs. Whether you care about this or not, just check your clubs because you might have some random 63 to 64 rated bronze cards that are selling for like a couple thousand coins. Here's what I tell you to do. Sell them in the hype or sell them right after the bronze tournament starts today. That way you don't have to mess with, you know, whether or not the tournament's actually worth playing or the live event's worth playing. So what I did here on Footbin is I went to the bronze cards and then I sorted by Footbin rating, which will go. So you can see a lot of the cards here that are higher up on the Footbin rating are pretty expensive. 3K for that Sam Sharing center back card right there. A lot of these cards here for a couple thousand coins. So that's just a way that you could check your club and see, or just go through the tradable cards that have good stats in your club and double check and see if you can sell them and, you know, what they're selling for. So again, those are my 2 tips. Build out your bronze team. You know what? Let's just have some fun with this. Maybe put a couple of Evos that you're not going to use on anybody else on the cards, because why not? Just to make them a bit more fun, to give them a few play styles. And let's see if those rewards are fun, because that just sounds unique to me and I'm about that. So we're going to be trying that mode out for sure this weekend. But speaking of other content, of course, we have the Vidal SBC that's been leaked. Could he be today? Hopefully he is today. Fingers crossed that we're going to have the Vidal SBC today on Saturday. That would be super dope. Or at least tomorrow on Sunday. But we do have a new Icon player SBC that is leaked as well. And guys, as somebody who has used Charlton for 275 plus games this year with his silver card that we glitch evoed right to an 86 rated, this dude is really good. Now, I know mine has low driven base on the card, so that's a bit different. But you look at Power Shot Plus and you're like, unusable card. Nope. Insanely usable card. He's got incisive. He's got quick step. The inventive for the double tap passes. The technical. His left stick dribbling is unbelievable. 4-star, 5-star. If this SBC is priced right, this card is going to be very, very good. It seems kind of random, right? Like just dropping a Bobby Charlton player SBC. But like, it's one to at least consider. His card on the market's like 700,000 coins. Hopefully this SBC would end up being like 550K. If it is, then this would be one that you could just chip away at even now or during Team of the Year just for a fun card to try. That's going to be a fun SBC. We do not know when he's going to come out, but since it has been leaked, it could be very soon. Now, the other SBC cards that we still have leaked, of course, the Alexis Sanchez, we think that's in week 2. We got a Marta Torrejon. We've got a young card. That one's pretty cool. And Zamzi, of course, is the bronze objective. Montic is already out. Pookie's already out. This Dante card, 82 pace, you got the intercept plus, 86 defense, 84 physical. That one looks really intriguing. Hoffman looks kind of decent as well for a Bundesliga player. So just keep an eye on any one of these players. They could be dropped today as an SBC card. Also, I think we might have a Flash Rush event ahead of us here. They mentioned that there was going to be a Rush event for the Time Warp promo. It says SBCs, evolutions, Rush events, objectives, and more, including a special bronze-only live event. So, yeah, that's going to be starting today. I'm really curious to see what the rewards are like for that. And other than that, guys, I know the last thing to mention here is, are you opening packs for this promo? I am opening packs still. I don't think I'm going to save too much yet. I think what I will save is maybe like 84 and above rating guarantee packs. I've already got an 85 plus times 4 that's saved here, so I probably will start saving a few of those. And one tip for saving packs: save your max 78 times 5 rare gold packs and as many of the winter provisions as you can. Still work through doing like the crafting SBC and stuff to like get SBCs done. But the more of these you can save for Team of the Year, the better for the premium upgrade pack or grind, because if you have a lot of those provisions packs and a lot of those gold rares, you're going to be able to build a whole lot more premium packs that would cost you a decent amount of coins otherwise to build. And those are the premium upgrade packs that we spam during Team of the Year for the best chance at packing Team of the Year cards. So I just wanted to mention that for those of you that are menu grinders, and that's probably where we'll sign off for the video today. Get out there on the market, get out there and trade, and good luck with your weekend league games. I will catch you guys in another video tomorrow. Hopefully EA deliver a little bit more solid Time Warp content today. Just give us that Vidal, man. That'll be a good one. All right, guys, much love. If you enjoyed this video, drop a thumbs up on it, comment down below if you have any questions, and of course, subscribe if you're new. See you guys in the video tomorrow. Happy Saturday. It's been TheFutAccountant. See you there. Peace out.